Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. What a great start to the week, right? Good Monday. Some actual good news for a change. We're pleasure to introduce this. It's my pleasure, actually, to announce the expansion of Riverside Park. The wall is coming down today, and it's a very exciting day for us. As we all know, world-class cities do deserve world-class parks, and Detroit is actually no exception. When I was younger, growing up around Southwest Detroit, I used to envision a city that didn't waste its public spaces, didn't waste its gems like the one we're at now. Especially the riverfront. A God-given beauty like this should have an investment into it. When you invest in public spaces, you actually invest in the people around it. So it's my honor to introduce this day. This is actually a new day in the city, and I want to thank the resilient public, the people that had stuck around here during the bad times, because now it's actually, thank you. Actually, we're turning a corner here, and we get to enjoy the good times as well. I want to thank all of our elected leaders that got this process going, got us to this point. Despite all the politics, despite everything else, we are here now, and we're doing things that are tangible, and I really appreciate that. I'd like to thank the Riverside Advisory Council, which I am a part of myself, and it's been a pleasure to serve the voice of the people. And I appreciate how actually our elected leaders reach out to the community to get our input so that the park can stay true to the area that it's in. Those in the Riverside Advisory Council, along with me, is Alicia Alvarez, Amelia Duran, Joe Rashid, Ryan Marshall, Gloria Rocha, Erminia Ramirez, better known as Minnie, right? And also our fearless leaders, Brad Dick and Tim Caro, who are here also. So like I said, we have to make the best out of this natural gem. We are going to have baseball diamonds here, soccer fields, basketball courts, and a lot of other amenities that are coming through, and it's going to be great announcements all the way through. The people deserve nothing less. It will do a lot of good for the area, and if it's good for Southwest Detroit, it's obviously good for all of Detroit. Everybody, no matter what income level, who you are, you can come down and enjoy public spaces, and that's what this is for. When this comes to full fruition, we'll all be richer because of it. And now, without further ado, I have the pleasure and the honor of introducing our mayor, a man whose personal commitment to this project has made it a reality, Mayor Mike Duggan.
All right. Well, good morning, Southwest Detroit. When I was campaigning, the neighborhoods in Southwest Detroit are vibrant, they're growing, they're beautiful. But the one thing I heard from people in Southwest over and over is we feel like we're forgotten about. And there's a whole range of history that goes into that. But one of the things that I heard in the living rooms that I was campaigning in was the entire riverfront from the Renaissance Center east is opened up to the rest of the city. But in Southwest Detroit, we're near the riverfront too. Why don't we have a premier riverfront park? And when you look at it, by and large, this section of the city is industrial, and even Riverside Park as it existed has had such a history of industrial uses that the contaminants were such that sometimes the park was open, sometimes the park was closed, and clearly dramatically underdeveloped. So when Matt Maroon approached me in 2014 about, I want our company to be able to buy property adjacent to the existing bridge, and we have some appraisals and we want to talk about what it's worth, I said to him, I'm not interested in selling the air rights over that property for any amount of money. This isn't about money. What I do want is a premier waterfront park for the people of Southwest Detroit. And if you can help us get that, we're willing to reach an agreement. And he said, well, what will that take? I said, you got a beautiful 5-acre waterfront parcel occupied by a warehouse. Now, not too many places in the country would use up their waterfront property by putting in a warehouse, but this is Detroit's history. And I said, so I think a fair deal would be swap us the 5 acres on the water, put $3 million into the redevelopment of the park immediately, put the windows in the train station as a first step toward redevelopment, and then we'll swap you the other acreage. And Matt said, let me see if I get this right. I got to give you the 5 acres up front. I've got to give you the $3 million up front. I got to put in the 1,000 windows up front. And then you're going to try to swap me the property. But of course, the property swap requires the approval of the DNR. I said, that's what I want. He said, sounds like a good deal. Didn't go quite that easily. But if you look at what has happened, this park is heading the right direction. We are going to start this fall at the north end, building a new baseball field for the outstanding Detroit Bees baseball team, a new soccer field, new basketball courts. They're all going to start at the north end of the park this fall, and we're going to do our part by vacating that old animal shelter building and adding that to the park as we move into more modern facilities. And then, as you're going to see shortly, you're going to see the wall come down. And the interesting thing was the bridge company had a contract with a tenant in that warehouse through the end of 2018. And they said, we can't give you the warehouse until the end of 2018. I said, fine, we'll wait for the end of the lease, but I want the commitment now. They have made such a commitment to rebuilding this park. They moved the tenant out early, and they are knocking down this warehouse and turning the 5 acres over to us 2 years early in this coming month. Which means we're going to be able to build out this premier waterfront park for the people of Southwest Detroit 2 years early. And you're going to see next year, we're going to build the river walk the rest of the way across. We're going to build a fishing pier out here. If you haven't noticed, fishing is relatively popular even in the years when the park was closed due to contaminants. Didn't discourage the fishermen of Southwest Detroit. We're now going to build them the kind of fishing pier that they deserve. And so we have a long way to go in this city in many regards, but over the next year or two, the families in Southwest are going to be proud to be able to bring their children to this park and show them this is the kind of recreation amenity in Detroit that you deserve. And with that, I want to introduce my partners. As you know, there was a little bit of controversy, but most people, if you were at the public hearing, supported this. You got a lot of history in this town. In Detroit, we don't let go of that history very easily. But the majority of the council analyzed the agreement, saw that we got our commitments up front and supported it, and it's the reason we're building this park today. And with that, I want to introduce one of my partners and one of the leaders in getting this done, Councilman Andre Spivey. Andre?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Like the mayor, when I first ran in 2009 citywide, came to Southwest, this was one of the first areas that I came to, and I wondered why this park was so empty. And the year later, my son, his first travel team was the Detroit Bees as a 10-year-old that will play here when this park is complete. But this was an arduous task to get to the agreement, but for me, a fairly easy vote. We have a park on an international border looking across to Canada, and it was a no-brainer to make sure we had this park available for our residents here in Southwest Detroit and the entire city of Detroit. And so I'm proud of our Recreation Department, our GSD, the Mayor's Office, and Mr. Matt Maroon and family for getting this park done. This will be a jewel in the city of Detroit. And Southwest, I hope you're ready to share with the rest of the city of Detroit for those who will be coming here to be at this park. And so it shows that government can work with the community, can work with business community, and we can make things happen. So today, this is a wonderful day, moving ahead of schedule and where we should be. The wall is coming down. Children will be here playing and fishing, and this is a great day for our city. And I want you to know, Southwest and the entire city of Detroit, that you have confidence in your mayor and your council to get things done. And this shows here today when we see the laughter and the fellowship and the growth as part of our city. And so to all those who are involved, congratulations, and we look forward to a great time here in this part of our city. And as the mayor said, we have partners in the city. We also have partners in the state of Michigan. I want to welcome State Representative Fred Durhal III to bring greetings here on behalf of the state of Michigan. Fred Durhal.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'd first like to thank Mayor Duggan for his leadership on this project, as well as Matt Maroon and the Ambassador Bridge Company. This park right here will be very instrumental in the growth and development of the youth here in Southwest Detroit. Across Detroit, parks are very, very, very important. And on a state level, we know that. And so when you have partners who want to come in and invest in land that has not been used, land that has not basically had the opportunity to grow, and they have a vision to turn it into something as great as we will see in the upcoming months. It makes me very excited as a state representative who represents Southwest Detroit. This is something the community wants. This is something that the community needs. And so we're very excited, about the partnership, and regardless to what folks say, it's good when government can come together with businesses and work together to do something great for the community. So I'd like to thank you all for being out here today. We're excited about this park, and we're excited about the future of Southwest Detroit. Thank you so much.
Oh, how can I forget? And so we're seeing a different level of partnership these days between the city of Detroit and the Maroon family. We're seeing it on project after project, whether it was the Links project that's hired 150 Detroiters on the east side, whether it's moving forward on that train station, the windows are in it now, we're pushing to have them start looking for tenants, or whether it's the building of a first-class park in Southwest Detroit. Please welcome Matt Maroon.
Approximately a year ago, I stood in this park and I said a lot of words, making commitments to the mayor, which I'd made an agreement to a council that analyzed the agreement and ended up approving it, and to the community of Southwest Detroit. And words are great, but actions are much better. And my family and our company wanted sincerely not only to get what we wanted for our business, but we wanted to change our future and our reputation with the community. There was a great deal of skepticism. So it feels really good, despite having given up a lot in the agreement with the mayor, to make good on those commitments. So last year, prior to the end of the year, and we were working late until December, we put 1,080 windows in the train station. And it's got a long way to go. I'm not under any delusion, but it looks a lot better, and it's a great first step. Hopefully one day we'll be able to bring you more news about the train station, and good news travels fast, so we won't be keeping any of that under wraps. We also agreed to transfer $3 million to the city. Initially, as soon as council approved the agreement, we did that. That $3 million will go to improve this park and to build it out. We also agreed to transfer 5 acres of additional waterfront property to the city. And that's basically this warehouse site that's starting the transfer right now. We also agreed, well, what would happen to the old warehouse on the site? Well, the bridge company would pay to tear it down, clear the site, and make sure the foundation was out and everything was level for the park to build out. So that's what we're doing right now. And then, like the mayor said, that's all the upfront things. When the state and feds approve the park transfer, the practicality of which is happening now, then our company is obligated to pay the city another $2 million for further development and enhancement of the park. And so that's enough about the commitments. I'm getting a little queasy from them. So I just wanted to say it feels really good to make good on these commitments, and we look forward to finishing the last one too. Thank you.
All right. We have gone in this city from a philosophy of contraction, shutting down parks, not cutting grass, closing rec centers, years of that, to now growing parks. And across the city, we're renovating 40 small parks and neighborhoods. We built out the Lipke Rec Center on the east side of Detroit with a partnership with Mitch Albom and Matthew Stafford. And all of these improvements are being driven by our General Services Department. The busiest man in Detroit government, let me introduce Brad Dick.
Well, I beg to differ. The busiest man is the guy standing right here to my right. Anybody who knows Mayor Duggan knows that he is a hard worker and he makes us all work hard too. So a big thank you to him for all that he's been doing. So, David, thank you, and the advisory group, thank you. They've been great to work with. Tim and I our jobs have been made a lot easier. I'd like to acknowledge Tim Carl. He's the chief landscape architect for the city. Tim's the quiet guy who really makes things pretty. So he's a heck of a good guy. So I'm going to walk a little bit through the phases here. So starting up here in October, we're going to be breaking in the north side of the park. We'll be breaking ground on the softball diamond, bathrooms, soccer field, all that's going up there, playscape, and a picnic shelter as well too. Then I'm getting kind of excited over here. I think we've announced that we're tearing down the old animal control building. That should be gone by spring of next year. They're moving out. And ironically enough, we're putting a dog park there, which I think is very fitting. Next to that will be a skate park, and yes, I'm going to try to buy a skateboard and see how well I do. So, then as we move on down to this area, we're having an amphitheater over here, a passive area with grass for people to watch movies in the park, a sled hill in the wintertime, the fishing pier. It should be great. And then eventually this is going to be the boat dock down there, a huge place I think is going to be the spot we're standing on more or less, and walking trail going around the park and a lot of passive green space as well. So the next couple of years, you're going to see just an amazingly beautiful park. And when you just stop and look at these views back here, I mean, it feels like a big, urban, amazing park. When you stay on those hills up there, it's going to be the spot to be in the city. I think this will be the premier park in the city. So again, thank you for all that everybody here has done. You ask for your patience as we move forward with the construction and finishing up the environmentals, and very soon we're going to have just an outstanding, amazing park. So thank you.
Thank you, Brad Dick. Now I would like to introduce from Detroit Bees, a softball team and softball organization, Anita Martinez.
Bienvenidos. Actually, it's a travel hardball team, and the boys will get you. So as a mom who's given birth to 4 children, with the birth of each child, it's been a constant need to have space to let the kids run and play and have healthy, clean, safe areas for them to just stretch their legs. So I am so excited that all of the adults and the leaders in this community pulled together and persevered to get a great amenity for all of the families and the kids in this neighborhood that are so well deserving to have, all of these great things. I just get excited hearing about the amphitheater and the baseball diamonds and the soccer fields, because this is, a gem right across the waterways from Canada. So we're excited to have that. As a mom of the 2 baseball players on the travel team of the Detroit Bees, we are excited to be able to call this one of our home fields and use it for practice and for tournaments and for any other resources or opportunities that we'll be able to bring other community members together with, and just use the space so that the kids can have healthy, safe places to run and play. So on behalf of the Detroit Bees, we are excited to have the opportunity to use the space and to have contributed to some of the plannings that resulted in this awesome plan we have laid behind here. So thank you.
So next I want to bring Jane Garcia, who's been a staple of the neighborhood Southwest Detroit since I was born. Chair of the board, Les said.
Definitely since you were born, darling. Listen, buenos dias a todos. Hey, yeah, I'm so excited to be here. today to see this park come alive again. In 1963, my husband and I walked here. We could afford to walk here. I had my children and their grandpa learn to fish here. Their grandfather thought it was real important that they learn to fish. So yes, we are so excited about today. I can't begin to tell you. I want to thank Matt for your commitment, for your follow through, for your leadership. I want to thank Mayor Mike. I want to thank him. I want to thank the city council, our state representative, our Riverside Advisory Council especially. I want to make sure that they all know that this partnership came together out of real commitment to make a change in this city. Southwest Detroit is a part of Detroit. It is here. It is going to stay here. I think it's real important you understand that we are one Detroit. We just have different parts of the city. But everybody will be welcome here, particularly the residents of our community who have been waiting several years for this park to come back alive. Yes, indeed, it is going to happen. And it's going to happen for baseball, for soccer, for all the things, the athletic field that we're going to have. Muchísimas gracias a todos ustedes that have worked so hard to bring about this. I can't begin to tell you how excited we are. Yes, I've been around since at least you were born. I want to make sure that the next generation will have a park that they're proud of, that everybody in the city of Detroit will know where the Riverside Park is, and that everybody is welcome. Gracias a ustedes.
All right. And with that, we'll take a few questions, and then I'm pretty sure the wall is going to come down behind us if all goes according to plan. Anybody got anything they want to ask about? You just want to see the wall? All right. So we'll be around afterwards to take questions. Matt, can we get the wall to come down? Oh, all right. So we have a group of neighbors who have worked hand in glove with Brad and Tim designing what's going into this park so it meets the needs of the community. So let's ask the Riverside Park Advisory Group if you'd like to do the countdown on this.
Countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knock the wall down. Knock it down, yeah. Woo!